This PSA was brought to you by the Peter G Show.
You may have second thoughts after this show.
Don't drink the faucet.
We're really talented. We should get Oscars.
Just pick out a fucking car, for Christ's sake.
No, hi, my name is Peter.
Yeah, I want.
Here's good.
Yeah.
Madam Perry.
I need to get back in the genie bottle.
Louis from Pennsylvania, you're on.
He likes it.
It's showtime.
Peter G Show, Peter G Show, divorce dad, single dad, divorce dad, single dad, Peter G Show.
Thank you. Wednesday, we're back in the saddle. Long weekend. All screwed up with my days. All screwed up. I keep living in Monday or Sunday or something like that. How the hell is everybody? I hope everyone had a really good, long 4th of July, or as my friends in the South say, 4th of July weekend. Weather's great over here. I know some of my friends are sweltering. Either you're freezing or you're too hot, too cold. My porridge is just right. Hey, Paul. I really hope that everybody had a fun weekend and for celebrating our 247th year anniversary of this nation's independence. Independence. Freedom. Because I got to tell you, after 247 years, we're starting to slip, people. Some may agree, some may not notice the difference. Some may think I'm out of my mind. It's for you to decide. That's why this month of July. Hey, speaking of July. Wow. Nothing else on TV, man. July. This month, I'm going to take this month and we're going to talk about, or I'm going to rant about stuff that I don't really get to. Well, I do, but I don't get as much time as I would like. But I'm going to rant about stuff that's going on in this country. That's right. Only reason I'm going to do that is because I don't know if anybody's noticed, but we're a friggin' mess, people. There's things that are going awry. It may not affect you yet. I know it's affecting a lot of people, but it's affecting. It's only going to get worse. A lot of people are just Pay no attention until it's too late. You'll be walking in shackles. Boom, shaka-laka-laka. Wow. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm a little bit shell-shocked. Surprise visitors. Anyway, tonight we're going to be talking about... I'm going to take the month of July, and I'm going to be talking about a lot of stuff with our country, but specific things, and I'm going to be taking phone calls as well. But tonight, we're going to be talking about our freedom. We're going to be talking... Where is my cards? Yeah, I should know this already. We're going to talk about our freedom. We're going to talk about some things I want to talk about from about a month ago that I brought up, and I want to continue a little bit. Pride Month. Only because I have a couple of things that I never got to finish, and I really do want to finish it. You know, our current administration. Call me crazy, but again, I would not talk about this stuff if it wasn't so important to me. But anyway, that's what we're gonna do. And next week, I'm gonna be a little more specific on things, but again, it'll be open game. You can call in a little while and talk, and whatever's on your mind. How are you paying the groceries? I mean, whatever. How can you afford to live? But next week, Wednesday, July 12th, it's going to be you and me in our country, but I'm just focus in on a couple of things. Hollywood cults. You guys believe in this stuff? The actors and the musicians and all the people in Hollywood who, the ones who wanted to make it had to sell their soul to the devil or to whoever, the cabal. I really want to get into that a little more because even Ice Cube, who I like a lot, is speaking out lately, and I'm really always been interested. I'm in the thick of things here in Hollywood, but I can tell you, I am seriously not in the club. I'm not in the club. That's why I struggle. Because I'm not in the club. But as long as I wake up, we're cool. But we're going to talk about that. Climate change is still bugging the shit out of me because you still got people that are hell-bent on climate change. I'm going to talk about it. I don't care. The border. So there's going to be three things. It's going to be a trifecta next week. July 12th. Border still, it's going crazy over there. You're not on the border, so you can't see nothing. Promise me, the people that are there are going through hell. We're going to talk about that. But that's next week, July 12th, or whatever you want to bring up tonight when we get to it. But we will get to it. That's for sure. That's coming up in a few minutes. We're going to get back to freedom and all that. And, our country, 'tis of thee. We're trying to lose our liberty. And I'll explain to you how. Don't forget, I am struggling with YouTube. They are messing with me big time. Please, 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 for me to rebuild that channel, I need you to just hit the subscribe button on YouTube, please. Everybody. I know there's people watching from YouTube, Facebooks and LinkedIn's and the other platforms, but please do me a favor. If I don't get that, up to a certain number, they won't ease back the retention throttle. They're not letting me get out there. So how can you get bigger if you can't be seen, but you have to force the issue by just knowing to go there and hit the subscribe button. And as it builds, they'll start loosening the waistband and let me be able to breathe a little bit on that channel. Although, by the time I get through with this month, they may ban me, but who knows? I may just say things that they don't want to hear, just like what happened to me, a year and a half ago. And it's been an uphill battle ever since. But please go to my YouTube channel, please. It only takes a second. Peter G Show on the YouTube channel, and just hit the subscribe button. It's free. It's free. And again, if you're busy, I know a lot of people are busy and they, try to watch the show, but if you want to, you got to be in your car because you're driving back and forth from one place to another, or you're at work because work is boring. Who the hell wants to go to work? Some people do, and God bless them. But put an earbud in your ear, Google on your mobile device, Peter G Show podcast. We're on like 26 different platforms. Take the show on the road with you. I just put it in your ear. 300 shows, all different topics, tons of stuff. I'm sure there'll be something to keep you pleasantly entertained and or enlightened. That's right. So do that for me. All right, here's what's going to happen. We're going to be getting to the nitty gritty here in a second. I just want to take 1 minute or so, actually 2 minutes by the time I finish up. And I want to, we'll be right back in about a minute or two, as soon as we hear from my good friends over at Clean Star Products with their DX1 driver fuel additive that helps you save money in fuel. So I'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Tyrone Thompson of CleanStarProducts.com. This is DX1 Driver in the news, and here's what our friends have to say.
So I'm here to recap on the DX1 I've used. I put it in the oil and I put it in the gas. While I'm using it just for about 3 tanks. Cleaned everything out. I got every ounce of power back in my truck.
When Jared's truck was new, it had a lot of power. Then over time, it began to slow down. He got it all back with our DX1 Driver program.
Something you got to see for yourself. It's a great product. It's affordable. And it blows all the other additives and esters out of the water.
DX1 Driver is the finest oil in the world from a California environmental company. It goes into the fuel system and the oil. It's the only green grade product qualified for the carbon credits program, giving you better fuel mileage, lower emissions, and increased horsepower. So join the fuel savings revolution today. Go to CleanStarProducts.com/shop.
That's right, Clean Star Products. Let me tell you, people, they have something that actually works. This little bitty bottle right here. Pour it into a clean oil change. Lasts the whole oil change. And then every time you fill up your fuel tank, you put one of these little bitty bottles into your fuel tank. The combination of both will give you up to 10% better gas fuel economy, more lubricity, but cleaner emissions, more horsepower, less friction, all of the above. It's amazing how something so small can do so much good. If you want more information from these guys, go to CleanStarProducts.com. Write to them. They'll talk to you. They're really good people. And again, gas is expensive. Cars are expensive. It just makes sense to save money. So I would do that. Tell them the Peter G Show sent you. That way they know I'm doing something, all right? All right, let's take a sip before we get this bitch fest started. Smooth. Woo. I've been waiting all week for this. Because there's things that I'm sitting there gathering information, and it's just like, man, I want to get this off my chest. But anyway, again, I make no apologies. I'm never going to please everybody, but perhaps some of you, I know a lot of you are on board. Some of you will be enlightened, but I hope you took the time, got yourself an adult beverage, popped the popcorn, whatever. We're going to open up the phone lines in a couple of minutes too. I want to talk about a couple of things from last month that I did not get to finish up, and we ran out of time, and I forgot. It's a couple of things, but I want to get to these. We'll get to the current rants in a couple of minutes, or current events. First of all, we'll just talk about something I was hearing yesterday. Let's go back to our president. Last month, or about 3 weeks ago, I was talking about the president's son, Hunter Biden, did not want to pay child support to his it's his child, but it's his illegitimate child. So he was going to court. I'm sure everybody's seen it. It's all over the news. He want to go to court. I mean, he did not want to pay child support. It's his child. The biggest issue I had with the whole thing is our president now has 7 grandchildren. 7. But he only claims 6. He will not acknowledge this child that his son, Hunter, had a baby with a stripper or somebody that he was playing around with while he was smoking out. But he had a child with her. Now, look, if you don't want to be in a relationship with somebody, that's cool. But there's a 4-year-old little girl that even in her 4-year-old little mind knows that she has a dad and she has grandparents or grandfather that is the president of the United States, good or bad. Might be best if she doesn't know, but she does. And as she gets older, she's obviously going to know this. And I'll tell you, it's just not fair. It's not fair to the child. It's like, all right, you want to do something with the mother? No big deal. They need to be This is just a small example of the etiquette and the morals of who we're dealing with. They just make like it doesn't even exist, even though the news continually, is talking about it. But this child is just left out of the conversation. No conversation. Like, don't just that's the way they do everything nowadays. They just ignore everything until you get tired talking about it. We're not getting tired. We got a president of the United States that won't acknowledge a little yet he says, they're there for all the children. We're going to take care. We will leave no children behind to sniff. Sniff their behind. But he won't acknowledge somebody whose blood they got, their blood. That just kind of shows you what we're dealing with. So they don't want to acknowledge it. So Hunter went to court again last week, in between last week's show and this week's show. And somehow or another, I guess he settled his financial payments, but I guess he says, I'll pay you, but this child cannot have the Biden name. They don't want the last name to be called Biden, which, after everything is said and done, coming soon, probably going to be a good thing for the child. But, this is the creepy shit that goes on with our upholding the highest, authority in our nation. It's just plain pitiful. But I can top that, because just to show you that, a leopard's spots never change their color, or however the hell it goes. They just, yesterday, and here you go, Paul, this is for you. They found cocaine. They found cocaine in the White House. Somebody found a powdery substance, and they found cocaine. Now, I'm not saying where it came from. I can't really say where it came from. Again, if you're going to get mad at me for talking about this stuff, I'm not making it up. Don't get mad at me. I'm just talking about it because this is not right. Okay, this is not right. If you believed that there was going to be change and change was going to be good and was going to bring everybody together, I don't see none of that. I don't. We're still all bitching at each other. And I got to tell you, it's like if I disagree with you, I'm not going to hate you. I disagree with you, but I'm not going to hate you. But there's a lot of people. There's like, screw you, unfriend me. And that's sad, because we had so much other great stuff. But this is stuff that is in our faces daily right now. And again, life has gotten tougher. I don't know about you, but I think it has. I go to a grocery store. Things that used to cost me $35 is costing me $80. I'm not making this up. I'm feeling it. Anyway, they found a powdery substance in the White House, and it ended up being cocaine. Well, guess who's been hanging around the White House a lot? I'll give you a hint. Hunter. I'm not saying it's his, but who else is it? When's the last time they had this issue? Because he may... Look, addiction's a bitch. I don't, condone, addiction's a bitch. But they're in the White House. Like I said, you don't think all these other countries, everybody, they know everything about us. They're laughing at us. It's the stupidest shit that's going on. It's like a really bad B movie. Cocaine. And Hunter's been he's been hanging around his dad a lot lately, staying real close. And everybody just makes like nothing. Everything's great. Great to see you. We got videos. You're in your underwear smoking crack or snorting lines off a stripper's ass. Whatever. There's all this stuff, and everybody makes like it's, never happened. I promise you, I know you hate the Orange Man, but if it happened to his family, it'd be all over the place, and there'd be just, and again, I'm not gonna be a pro or plus. I'm just giving you an example because you know it. You know it. Everybody's chomping. They're salivating to put that guy in jail. But yet, there's nothing going on. I know you say that, he just gets away with it. Well, talk about getting away with it. We'll get through that this month. But they're getting away with it. Hunter Biden got off with probation for over $2 million in tax evasion. Tell Wesley Snipes that, and all these other people who didn't pay their taxes who ended up going to jail. I know there's preferential treatment. I mean, God, it's his son. But man, when you're in the spotlight, it's kind of hard, but yet they still don't care. Don't care. Don't care. Now, that's out of the way. We'll get back to more stuff. That was from 3 weeks ago. I want to talk real quick about Pride Month because I told you, I got no problem with gays. I have no problem. I have a problem with a whole month where we have to go crazy about it when we have 4th of July or Memorial Day or Veterans Day, and they get one day that we kind of commemorate, and they're continually, going to battle for us, losing their lives, serving our country, this and that. It just seems kind of messed up. It just seems messed up to me. You want to be gay? Be gay. I got no problem with that. I told you the stories about, me being around tons of gay people when I was growing up. I was getting my haircuts in the dressing room of a drag in a bar where the drag queen was a hairdresser, so he's cutting my hair. Or he's a drag queen, so he's a he. Cutting my hair on my way to a gig when I used to play on the Pensacola Beach. I don't care. I really don't. Be gay. I got no problem with that. But making me have to... I mean, it's just over the top. The pride stuff is just over the top. The people who are screaming, and it's only 1% and 1%. All the real gay people that I know that are super cool are super quiet. I mean, they're just gay. They can be gay in front of you, but they're not screaming. I got no problem. I love all these people. They've never been... Nobody's... Let me tell you, I got people I dislike in every avenue and people I love in every avenue. No problem. But I got a problem with this because these parades and everything were just getting crazy out of hand. It'd be one thing to celebrate gay pride, but, even drag queens. I mean, drag queens are over accentuated. They're way too much of everything they put on to, exaggerate the whole thing. And that's okay, because if you're a drag queen and you're on a stage and there's a show, well, that you're on a stage and there's a show. But when you're on the streets, it's kind of obvious, and it's just like, you want to do it, fine, but don't expect me to buy into the fantasy. I mean, yes, it's funny to look at or fun to look at, or maybe, just depends. But let me get into this. I don't even have to talk. This will, get the point. So last month I played a few videos on a few things. I mean, because the Dodgers caved and they did Pride Day, which is fine. But again, it was over exaggerated pride people. The gay people that just want to go to a ball game can go to a ball game. But they had the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence or whatever, perpetual stupidity. I mean, they're overly exaggerated and they're in nuns' outfits. And a lot of people got pissed off with that. And again, I can take it or leave it because I don't take it very seriously. I don't take it seriously at all. But, thank you, Dan. Dan loves my honesty. I'm not doing this to hurt anybody. I'm just being real because I don't think I'm the only one thinking this, and I'm really open-minded. I could do a show full of, drag queens here, but there's got to be a reason for it. Or gay people. I got no problem with it because they're just people. It doesn't bother me. It really doesn't. But putting it in people's face, there's a lot of people that are still, are coming around. It's hard. It's hard. And just common sense. Common sense, I think, is the word. For everything that I'm going to talk about this whole month. Common sense and decency is kind of going out the door. Now, I've done a lot of crazy shit in my life, and I still do. Hi, my name is Peter. However, and it has nothing to do with me becoming a father or nothing like that, but, there's just a time and a place for everything. I guess that's the key. A time and a place for everything. And a lot of people feel like they want to fit in, so they buy into the fantasy so they can feel like they're fitting in. You don't have to. You just have to be you and, let them do what they're doing. And, even you remember when all the pronouns came in? When, this is 2 years ago? Something like that, where she, her, him, haw, how, him, the. As I'm on certain pages, like in my LinkedIn and everything, I see everybody changing that. Like, yeah, I guess I'm him, whatever they are, she, her, him. I don't even know what they are. I don't even care. But now when I see that stuff, now I figure maybe some people were just trying to appease and fit in with the clique, but some people were just trying to, wanted to be accepted and like, oh, I got to, for them to accept me, I got to do this. No, you don't. It's like, hey, how you doing? What's your name? John. All right, John. And if it's some trans person, it's a trans person. I don't care. It's it doesn't matter. But every time I see their profiles now and I see the pronouns next to it, I got to think in my head, okay, I'm not sure if they're buying into it, if they're trying to fit in, but I got to watch what I say with them because I can tell that it's rice paper you're walking on because they're confused too. You don't have to do this. Somebody came up with this stupid idea and everybody followed. Not everybody. What's your name? Peter. Hi, Peter. Nice to meet you. That's it. Hey, man. Hey there, young lady. Whatever. But all this extra stuff for nothing. Common sense. Sorry, I'm getting sidetracked now. I'll end up never getting to what I want to get to. But so the Bud Light. Bud Light made a big mistake. Now I don't care, but see what Dylan Mulvaney or whatever, he's not even a trans, he's just a cross-dressing gay. He likes to dress, he got dressed up. It made sense. He's an actor who wasn't doing so well. It made sense. He did a business move. Okay, and he doesn't mind dressing up as a woman, but he's not really, so he's a transvestite, I guess. Transsexual. Rocky Horror Picture Show. Hang on. Woo. I'm not going to stay on all the gay stuff. I just can't help it because, again, I have no problem. But we have to differentiate. Like, we got to, bring it all in. It's gotten too out of, too many out of the lines. It's like, there's only so many things you can do or be. There really is. So it's just sensible, being sensible about the whole thing. Being a sensible gay. It's real simple. I know tons of them. And they're upset about it too, because it makes them look bad. But anyway, so, the Dodgers, I was playing some videos the last time about, all this. And then you had the Bud Light commercial. But this one I forgot to play. And this one really bugs me because this is the commercial that North Face, they make clothing attire, warm weather, winter weather attire and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, what the hell does this have to do anything? And this is so exaggerated and so far out there that it's just plain stupid. And yet somebody paid them to do it. So here, why don't you just check this out real quick and then we'll get back.
Hi, it's me, Patagonia, a real-life homosexual. And today I'm here with the North Face. We are here to invite you to come out in nature with us. Wow, this is nice. We like to call this little tour the Summer of Pride. This tour has everything. Hiking, community, art, lesbians making art. Last year, we gay sashayed across the nation and celebrated Pride across the nation with hundreds of you across the nation. This year, we're back again with 2 new stops. Atlanta, GA. Why? Because you're there. In Salt Lake City, we're coming for you.
Howdy, can we go?
Of course! This year, all these fabulous speakers will be coming from inside this TV to a nature near you. So come outside and celebrate the beautiful LGHG-TV community. That's pretty gay.
Yeah. No, it's not even pretty gay. It's pretty stupid. To me, that's not gay. That's just like flamboyantly over the top. If you were making a point for some real reason, I'm all in. But it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. It's like, okay, you really wanted to get somebody's attention. Believe me, you got it. But again, does that really represent a majority of the gay community? People who struggled to be who they want to be and still have respect because they're respectful people, they're good people, they're responsible people. But does that really bring it? It's just over the top bullshit. And here's what's gonna, and this is what I'm leading up to right here, because this guy Scott Labeo, he is in New York, and this guy has no filter. I've been watching him for quite some time, and he got pretty pissed off. You know, they had tons of gay pride parades and all that, and the parade is one thing, but it's the people in the parade. How about the White House? The trans dude or gay dude that had the breast implants just taking his shirt off. It's like, that was pure stupidity. But it goes to show you the level of what's going on. Sure, after they figured it out after, it's like, man, I shouldn't have done that. Well, nobody in their friggin' right mind would be at the White House doing anything like that anyway. You know, we all make mistakes. But these are, you're trying to get respect and want everybody to acknowledge you. It's like, that's not the way to do it. It's just not. And you're getting attention, but all the wrong attention. And here's Scott talking about a parade where there was little kids, because a lot of these parents are dragging these kids around because they think they should be open to it. And okay, whatever. It's your kids. I just think there should be a certain age before I start talking to them about that. I don't want my 6-year-old don't need that. You know what I mean? Maybe 10, 13, start going, okay, there's all kinds of people in this world. But anyway, here's Scott. You watch this and then we'll talk about it, because he vulgarity alert. All right, this guy has no filter. He swears a lot, and that's that. And so, buckle up, Buttercup. Here you go.
I want everybody, even you on the left, even you gay folks, you folks in the alphabet community, all of you, conservatives, liberals, I want everybody to look at this photograph. It's historical. It is so powerful. Look at it. Don't look away. Do you see this child, 6, 7 years old? And do you see this? And do you see this fucker, this adult who walks by and allows these children to see this shit? If I was walking past the school on the other side of the street and I had to scratch my balls because I had an itch with my pants on, I'd be in fucking jail and I'd have a stamp as a fucking pedophile. How the fuck are any of you, straight, black, white, gay, or any indifference, whatever the fuck you are as a human being in society, you look away from that? Or you don't do anything about this? How the fuck am I the only one pissed off at this? Many people are, but what are you doing? Nothing. Let me tell you something, people. You know me a long time. And this weekend, Tuesday, is Independence Day, the 4th of July. And this weekend, Friday or Saturday, I'm going to go somewhere in public with a microphone, and I am going to make the speech of a lifetime. And that speech better fire you people up. Because after this 4th of July, our independence from tyranny, for freedom, I want you all to change your fucking ways. I want this revolution to end, this battle of evil and good, on 4th of July and soon after. This is our shining moment. If you agree that this is okay, you motherfucker are on the wrong side of history, and you're gonna fucking lose. Mark my fucking words.
I don't know about you, but I think he's got a point. I really do. He's very passionate about it. He's passionate about everything when it comes to this country, but agree or disagree. Is he right or wrong? Do you think he's ridiculous, being ridiculous about it? I don't. Since when do you have naked people in the streets? Now, I know in certain countries, I've traveled a lot, and, you're in Australia or Greece, and there's women, sunbathing with their tops off because there's a different mentality there. But this is a little bit different. And, again, I think it's all the freaks, people taking advantage of this, of the opportunity to embellish the whole pride thing, but they just get way over the top and they're letting their freak flag fly, fee-fi, faux fum, and they're doing it, who knows? They're just not, they're doing it, they think it's going to be okay, but it's backfiring. You get that. We had to have that all month long. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to open up the phones. Anybody wants to call in. Now, you don't have to just talk about what I've been talking about. Anything having to do with this country. I look, as much as I appreciate you calling me, telling me you like watching the show, or you can call me and tell me if you hate the show. But call in and tell me something that really gets your goat or something you believe in. 818-259-7983 is the phone number right here on Life of Peter G, the Peter G Show, while I continue to make my way down the rant platform. I can't help it. It just makes me kind of, I mean, am I the only one? I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not. And again, I know there's people that completely disagree with me. My own stage mother for this show, we can't talk politics. And that's just, it's kind of hard. I mean, we get along really fine. But every time we slip into this conversation, she hates watching, when I do these shows like this. She's keeps me in line on a lot of things. She gives me, I get a lot of perspective from an opposite point of view, so I can take into consideration as I do these shows. But she's completely opposite of what I say, which blows my mind. But I respect her for it. I mean, that's her business, and she's a smart woman. But I disagree. But she will get upset with me, and she says, let's just stop talking about it. But we're still friends. We talk, all the time, because, again, this show has a lot to do with, our friendship. But I can't be that wrong. I mean, I just can't be, again, I'll flat out, there's a lot of these topics I'm not an expert on. I have to, know when to get in and when to get out, because I have a lot of things to do weekly. But if you want to go in deeper detail, I'll bring in the people who are in heavy detail to these things. 818-259-7983. The phone rings, I will pick it up, and you tell me what is on your mind. What is bugging you about this country that's going on right now? I'll keep going. I mean, everything is just a friggin' mess. And again, our freedom. I love this guy too. I played many things from him. Let's talk about, our freedom. A lot of people think everything is okay. Well, everything is okay. Everybody thinks everything is okay. Not everybody. A lot of people think this is stupid. We're in great shape. Our unemployment is at a record low. It's like, I disagree. I don't know where, and everybody has their numbers. We talked about fentanyl a few months ago, and there was a big argument on Facebook about my post. And they start pulling up numbers and everything, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But freedom. So you think the rich people are you hate the rich people, but you know what? The rich people are the ones running this country, whether you believe it or not. And most of you do, but there's that chosen few that just are oblivious to the whole thing. So let me have my friend Mike Italiano explain a little bit more about what goes on with our country. All right, hang on.
I'm interested to know, for all you people, what about it, the World Economic Forum screams anti-fascism and freedom to you? See, first you woke leftists say you hate billionaires and they shouldn't exist. Who do you think comprises the World Economic Forum? Why do you think our governments are falling in line with an entity that wasn't elected by anybody on the planet? If you listen to what they're saying, it sounds reminiscent of 1944, 1940s, where you're talking about Germany, where Klaus Schwab's family's from, where his father was recognized by the Nazi German government. What about the World Economic Forum screams anti-fascism as they say that they're hiring 100,000 people to police the internet against misinformation? Or Alex Soros saying that he wants to remove conservative viewpoints from the internet? Does that sound like anti-fascism? See, because you're but one opinion away from being removed as well, because unless you conform 100%, you're considered the enemy. They want to tell you what science is and what medicine is. Everything that they labeled as misinformation over the last 4 or 5 years has turned out to actually be real information. Since when do we want to live in a world of no dissent or discourse or discussion? Remember when Trump was in office and how much discourse and discussion and debating and rioting and protesting you had. You won't be allowed to do that. You talk about hating capitalism because it restricts you from being free. Really? Because everything they're doing in the name of climate change restricts your movements. They want to put an emergency kill switch on your car. In France, they're already canceling short-range flights. You think they're going to let you fly around the world and live your life and go on vacation and go to the beach and go surfing and go hiking and doing all these things you claim you want to do? No, you can't do that in the name of climate change. You won't be able to eat what you want in the name of climate change. Drive what you want in the name of climate change. They will have electronic banking and monitor every single thing you do and shut you off if you don't comply. If you don't believe that, look at what they did to GoFundMe accounts for truckers in Canada where they shut them off. What about Amazon, who shut down a guy's house because somebody made a claim that wasn't true? No trial, no evidence, no nothing. They literally shut him down. His alarm, his lights, everything that was tied into Amazon's network. Shut him down at the flip of a switch. And you don't think that's coming for your bank or coming for your car? All in the name of climate change, which has been definitively debunked, that CO2 levels are not anywhere near high enough to hold heat in the air, let alone it's not being caused by man? What part of the World Economic Forum screams freedom and screams you're part of a protected class of elitists? You're going to fall in line like you did during COVID, and you're going to fall in line moving forward. You're not protected. You claim anti-fascism and hating billionaires. Do you? Do you really?
Make sense? Does he make any sense? Believe me, I got plenty more from him that'll be coming down the pipe. He makes a lot of sense. He doesn't watch, had him on the show. He doesn't watch TV news. He digs a little deeper. He's not a headline reader, because that's the problem. They have conditioned most people, and our youth especially now, they've dumbed everything down. And I don't blame you because, again, I say it 1,000 times. Oh, again, shit. Oops, starting to use harsh language. Good, Peter. That won't work on network television, but I don't have to worry about that because I'm not on network television, right? 818-259-7983. If you have a topic you want to talk about for this country, okay? Call that number. 818-259-7983. They've dumbed everything down. They're teaching, and they're, and again, you young people are impressionable. You teach them at a young age, that's what they're going to know. It's that simple. And, and I get it. Growing up, it's like, why wouldn't we trust the news? That's the news. They're supposed to be bringing the news to us. They're supposed to be educating us with the news. God, I wish it was like it should be, but it's not. And it's hard to, to imagine. It's like, why would they say all this stupid shit? I got tons of, again, there's not enough time in the day to do this show of all the stepping on their own toes, lying, about everything. And that'll be coming through the month. I'll be playing some, I can't help it. I'm going to have to. And we'll see if I can remain on these channels without getting taken down. But it's just out there. That's the beauty of video. That's a great thing about our president. There's tons of videos on him as a senator for years and all the things he said. Nobody knows anything about that. Hang on a second. Hi, you're on with Life of Peter G. Who's this?
This is Jean.
Jean.
How are you?
You tell me if you got something to talk about.
Well, you're talking about some good things.
Uh-huh. But what's pissing you off?
Well, I heard about the cocaine in the White House.
Was that your coke?
No.
Hey, Gene, hang on a minute. Are you still?
My name is Gene. I'm mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore.
Can you sound a little more madder when you're saying it?
My name is Gene. I'm mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore.
I'll take it. Okay, Gene. I'm going to have to...
You know what I wish... So how was your 4th of July? Did you have a good 4th of July?
I have a good every day, Gene. I'm very grateful when I wake up. I give thanks that I was able to wake up, and I take it from there. But you know, it's,
Yeah, you got that right. Yeah, with this crazy world that we're living in.
it is very crazy. Speaking of crazy, what is going on with your city over there of Baltimore?
Well, in the city, everything. Yeah, they just had a mass shooting down there.
That's my point.
Sunday morning.
Correct.
I mean, it's just crazy. It's happening in other states too. You know, it's just crazy.
Yeah. Well, I know it's happening in other states, but I mean, Baltimore's been on the low on the spectrum for quite a while, and it just seems like it just keeps getting worse and worse.
It's just getting worse.
Yeah.
Well, the mayor that's in charge of it, he's a young guy, and he really, you know, they need to get everybody clean everybody out of City Hall and get new people in there.
Yeah.
I know Bob Paff he's fed up with it, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, obviously, if that was going to get done, it would have gotten done, but it just keeps getting worse, like you said.
Yeah, it's just getting worse down there. There's not a day that goes by that you don't hear of a shooting and everything. And they also have a curfew for the teenagers. They got to be off the street by a certain age,
Wow.
you know, by a certain time.
That's
and that's really not working.
Well, yeah, well, I wouldn't think so. But you know, tell me something. Do you drive?
Yeah, but I don't drive in the city. It's not safe to go down. You're risking your life if you go down there.
I don't doubt it. I was just wondering because again, it's just
Right.
nasty, and it's like who puts up with this?
Right.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, because my sister-in-law, she used to work down there a couple of years ago, but my brother that passed away, that was his wife,
right.
and he was afraid that he was just afraid that something would happen to her, and I did too.
Right.
But then she they just let her go because she had to take him to his doctor's appointments a couple of times.
Sure.
So so she don't work down there anymore. But she does work up here in Harford County. She works in the cafeteria up here at at one of the schools.
Yeah, I think I saw her there.
She has like a part-time job.
But let me ask you something. How did you celebrate Pride Month last month?
No,
Gee.
Yeah, I mean that is really something too. You know.
You didn't celebrate Pride Month. You didn't go to any parades or nothing?
No.
Oh, Gene. All right. Look, anything else on your mind? Because we're blowing through things. It's my fault because I've been ranting for so long. Now I'm running out of time.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The last time that you had to call in, because I tried to call in last month when you had to call in, and your phone went voicemail, and it did tonight the first time I called in.
Yeah,
you know.
I apologize for that. It was my fault because we had a
I know.
There's a lot going on.
I know you're the only one working there, and you've got a lot of things to do.
No, we're doing things remotely, and there was a miscommunication between us, and so what I thought was on, they thought was on, and it was really off. And anyway, it's
okay.
Don't get me started. I start getting worked up because I really wish everybody was in front of me like the old days.
Right.
But anyway, it's just the way of the world right now, and that's the way it goes. Anyway, okay. Look, anything else?
So, how's your daughter?
She is amazing. She actually bought me a Starbucks today because she took me somewhere because my brake light switch went out on my vehicle, and
oh my gosh.
I noticed it last night, and I said, "Look, I do not want to drive." I said, "Before I have to get going for the show and all that, can you come pick me up and take me?" And she bought me. I go, so my little girl's grown up. She bought me. She bought for me. That was a nice.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah. What I am pissed off about is that simple little brake light switch, because I'm kind of mechanically inclined. Here I go again. I'm going to get pissed off. It should have been. Now I haven't bought one in 30 years because I haven't had one go out. But it was $75 for this little.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. And
oh my gosh!
Literally, I changed it in about 4 minutes flat, and it's just a piece of electronic, that goes behind the brake pedal, and you plug it in, and every time the brake pedal touches it, it tells the brakes to come on. Simple as stuff. They over-engineered it, and they're charging through the nose for something, and it just pissed me off. Anyway.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
I'm on a
that
roll.
is crazy.
But other than that,
Oh,
everything is wonderful. But I wanna see if I can catch one more call before the show's over, and because I got more stuff to bitch about, but I'm not through.
I know you're doing a great. I know everything that you say. It is really great.
Well,
I learned a lot from you.
Well, thank you. Hopefully, I won't be doing this show under a bridge anytime soon because but I'll tell my creditors that Gene thinks I'm doing great.
I know you're doing a great job.
All right, Gene. Then stay out of trouble and watch yourself over there, okay?
Okay, I love you.
I love you too. See you.
Okay, bye.
Bye. That was Gene from Baltimore.
My name is Gene. I'm mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore.
Can you sound a little... She's mad as hell and she's not going to take it anymore because she lives in Baltimore. Baltimore is a mess. I don't know how people do it. I really don't, but we'll be getting into that stuff too. Let me see if I can get one more call in from somebody. 818-259-7983. And I'm not going to... I had so much more stuff to tap on. That's what I'm saying. I'll be taking these shows on my own for a while. I'm just in that mood. Guests are great, and I'll get back to that, but there's just things that we are in a position right now that I don't know if I can reach one person. If I can reach one person. Hi, you're on with Life of Peter G. Who's this?
Peter, Dan.
Hey, Dan. How are you, sir?
Good. You know what upsets me?
You're cutting in and out for some reason. Are you on speakerphone? Hello?
Not anymore.
Okay, there you go. Because I knew
that's better.
Yeah, the noise canceling on these phones does that, and it sucks.
Oh, sorry about that.
How are you? Listen, I want to apologize. I know you've written to me a couple of times and stuff.
Okay.
I love you for paying attention. But what's on your mind?
It's the thing with the whole situation with children.
Yeah.
As if you're a parent. You're a parent. I'm a parent. I'm a grandfather. I have a great grandson and a great granddaughter being born. So
yeah.
For somebody to tell me you're not in charge of their life. I mean, they can go to hell. I mean, I shouldn't. I mean, that's how I feel about it. You should shut up and, reading, writing, and arithmetic. Yeah. Teach the fundamentals and do your job that way.
I'll be getting into that in the next couple of weeks because California is really going overboard with what their new laws are kicking in. And all I can say is I'm so glad my daughter is just about out of high school because it is. What is wrong with these people?
Well, it's control.
Yeah,
that's how I see it. But anyway, I just wanted to say that that was on my mind. I know you got other people that would like to speak.
No, I doubt it. Nobody listens to this show.
I do. Even I caught up with the show when I was in New York for a few weeks.
Yeah.
So I was incognito up there, out of touch with everything.
Well, the beauty of it is you can on demand after the shows are over. You can always watch or listen via podcast while you're driving. All the above. But I try to reach, but we're still having a hard time. I'm still having a difficult time with YouTube and a couple of things. But one day at a time. As long as I wake up, I'll just keep fighting the good fight.
So I guess I should start. I've been trying to invite people. I think I'm going to start pushing a little bit. Maybe that would help.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it because I'm telling you, it's not easy. Everybody wants to be somebody, and there's a lot of good people out there. But I don't know. I can just do what I do, and what I do is from deep down within. I didn't get up and just say I got nothing else to do. This takes a lot of time and effort. In fact, it's killing me in other aspects of my life because of what I'm sacrificing to do this. Because we're not picked up on a major stream or anything like that, so it's very difficult.
No, you're doing a good job with what you're doing.
Well, thank you.
You got good guests on. I watch interesting stuff that I see, relationships, and it's so hard these days because anything that's flashy, they run towards.
Yeah.
The younger people.
Yeah.
And
it's a bitch, but I kind of told myself I've been itching to talk about more stuff. And when I first started this show, I was doing the show all by myself. Hoping for phone calls and to let people talk about what's going on in their lives. And I'm kind of wanted to revert back for a little bit. We're at least going to do this month, just me, because there's so much stuff to talk about. I feel there is, but again, I get plenty of people that just, will watch clips later and tell me that I'm an idiot. But, I'm okay with that. You can't, there's, you can't please everybody. You can't.
Yeah, but you speak from the heart, Peter. I grew up with a lot of people that were gay and different all walks of life, and we treated each other like we were just, that's who we are. You're just this, you're that, blah, blah, blah. Didn't matter.
Yeah.
Nobody, we still want to hang out together and do things together.
Yeah. Well,
Never brought into it like it is now. But, you know, I look at it, if you find somebody you love, that's who you love.
Yeah. Well,
I can't, you know, and I don't criticize anybody for whatever it is, but I just don't like that one picture he showed. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's
common sense has flown out the door. Common sense has flown out the door with a lot of things. And then these people who are trying to condition everybody with control, and these people don't even realize it. It's going to be too late by time. And, you know, and again, we'll get into this next week because I'm already running out of time, but it's just, I'm just doing my part. And I never thought in a million years I'd be talking about this stuff, because one of the things I said when I started this was I would not talk about religion or politics. And you know what? I'm gonna take that back, because we are in trouble.
I chuckle because I have a friend I said something about God. He goes crazy about it. I says, why do you put so much energy telling me that he doesn't exist, or a spiritual, whatever you want to call God or higher power? You're so upset about. If you don't believe they exist, then why does it even bother you?
Well, that's like I said, you know, people telling the truth have no trouble talking about it, but and that's the difference when you have a problem talking about something, because it's not all, you don't have it all together. That's all. That's all that. Anyway, it's a one day at a time, one day at a time fight, and I'm just here to do this one day at a time.
Well, thank you for what you do. I appreciate it.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you for calling. Thank you for being a true fan and paying attention. I mean, you've been watching for quite some time now, and I believe me, I do not take it for granted. I love you for it.
Well, I appreciate it. I love you too for what you do, and you're a good father and a good man, and I see that just when you light up when you see a picture you and your daughter together. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's true. But when it comes to being a good man, it's like it depends who you ask. I do the best I can, but believe me, there's a lot of great people in this world, and I owe a lot to a lot of great people. But but then again, they're good to me because we've all been good with each other, and that to me is the key. But again, life is short, and I just realized that, and I want to get the show on the road, and I want to reach many. So keep on plugging for me.
And also, I want to mention, I really like the looks of your sponsor. I'm glad you have a good one like that. I want to try that product. I haven't yet, but I've been putting it off. But I think I want to try that.
The cool thing is, Dan, they've gone through the science and all that, and they've had it they've given it to the military and things like that. It actually works. It actually does work, but they're having, it's hard, man. It's hard anytime you want to be somebody new and go up against the millions of other products or the other shows, just like there's a million shows. It's not easy. So it's an uphill battle, but they were kind enough to lay their trust in me, and it kind of one hand washes the other, as my father always said. So
yeah, well, I'm glad you have them.
Yeah, me too.
They sound like a great product for all the testing and everything they had to go through in the state of California.
Oh yeah,
to sell it.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And I could use a few more products from a few more sponsors, but for right now, I'm very grateful and I'm thankful for at least having somebody.
All right, my friend.
All right, brother.
You take care.
Thank you. You too.
Thanks, Peter. Bye-bye.
That's one. All right. We're out of time. We're out of time. I got a lot of stuff more, but again, we're going to talk about this stuff because I never know who pops in and off of the show. Sometimes I get scragglers. Not even the live. The lives are great, but this show does even better once it's over and it just starts roaming through the internets and, the short clips, and it just grows exponentially in time because not everybody can be available at this time to watch it live. I love the ones that make the time. And again, that's dedication because I'm busy. There's things I want to do, but you have to make the time because you want to. And that's, again, a lot of my closest friends, they don't have time for this. I mean, they've been talking to me for 40 years, as one of my friends made a point of telling me tonight, which is true. But this is kind of different, especially when I have guests. Now, he happened to catch it, which I was shocked. He happened to catch me doing me tonight. But a lot of times I have, as Dan said, I have lots of different kind of guests, from music to relationships, good and bad, to, some kind of different directions, going through different things, alcoholism, drug abuse, things that I feel that might help you by sharing stories. And that's why I'm here. I want to share stories to let you know that even though you may be going through a lot of crap in your life, it's not just you. It's not. Although it feels like it's just you. And I totally get that. I really do. Why me? Why me? I get it. I really do. Anyway, we're going to, again, I hope that the stuff I'm doing is striking a nerve. I hope that some of these people videos I play, because they're smarter than me, bring something to the table for you. I really do. Because that's why I do it. Because you can't know everything, but the more you dig and get off the mainstream baloney. It's a picture I forgot. Frank Zappa has a great picture. He has a great. I'll get it for next week. He has a picture. It's like a living room, and then there's a loft, and above the loft there's a toilet up there, and you can see it on the loft. And it's got a long pipe, where the stuff comes down. It's got the long pipe. It comes down to the living room, and it goes right into a television set. So all the shit's being fed into the television set. I can't remember what his quote is, but it's pretty self-explanatory. The television is for entertainment purposes. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Don't forget, next week, July 12th, our country, you and me, taking phone calls, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about the Hollywood cult. Do you believe in it? Do you think all these actors, these famous ones that are at the top, do you think they sold their souls to the cabal or to this underground organization? And is it real? I do. I don't know about selling your soul. I mean, it's kind of stupid sounding to me, like a Dracula movie, but to each their own. But the thing is, people with power have the power to make you or break you. That's why, like I said, I'm not in the club. I've never been in the club my whole life. I've maintained, but it's like almost. But I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping because I feel there's a better good. And I'm going to do my best to bring it out. But anyway, next week, January. Let's rewind that. Next week, Wednesday, July 12th, just you and me talking about our country, the mess we're in. But I'm going to specifically talk a little bit more about the Hollywood cult. Do you think it's real? We're going to talk about some climate change stuff, too, because that's just aggravating. It's just so ridiculously aggravating to me, and I want to talk more about it. And our borders, we got to talk more about that because it's more of a mess than you think. Out of sight, out of mind, people. And if you don't live down there, you don't realize it. But believe me, it's all coming to you. And we're going to talk about a few major problems that aren't talked about very much right now. That's really happening besides the fentanyl and the sex trafficking. There's some other things going on, and we're going to talk about that too next week, July 12th, right here on Life of Peter G, the Peter G Show, proudly presented by me. I'm Peter G, and I want to thank you. I want to leave you. Don't forget, again, subscribe to YouTube, please. And if you can't watch the show, take it on the road with the podcast. Just Google Peter G Show podcast. It's easy. And Gail, I got your message. I'm sorry I missed your call a couple of weeks ago whenever we were talking about that subject. You're more than welcome to talk about that subject anytime you want when I open up the phones, but I apologize. Again, I had some phone issues due to my own stupidity. I up was down and down was up at that point, and I wasn't aware of it. There's a lot of moving parts going on right below the camera line. Like, you ever seen those Indian Buddhas with the 8 arms that, are doing this? That's what I have going on below here. It's like an octopus. And got to always make sure the right buttons are working so I can push the buttons. But anyway, as always, I want everybody be kind. I know life's a bitch and people get upset. And it's really hard to sometimes, you have a break. Everybody has a breaking point. talk about that too. Be kind. Try to. Everybody makes mistakes, whatever. It's tough. But life is short. And let's just try to keep it all together. Less division. Let's try to pull together as hard as it is. I'm going to leave you with that with my 4th of July video about America. And again, my name is Peter G. You're watching Life with Peter G, the Peter G Show, every Wednesday like clockwork, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. on the East Coast, God willing. I thank you for letting me be here and for paying attention. So we'll catch you next week, as always. Love you guys. Peace out.
G-Show, Peter G-Show, divorce dad, single dad, divorce dad, single dad, Peter G-Show.